All right, hello everyone. Welcome back. I want to try looking at C++ today, and I want to attempt something on HackerRank. I've already done some things on here before, so I do also, in the meantime, though, have a lot of unsolved challenges, and they kind of go easy, medium, hard. Now, obviously, nothing I've done is in the hard side of things, but there's, I mean, a lot of the things in easy arrays, variable sized arrays. I mean, to be honest, that probably makes me think that you would use something like, well, I thought you would use a vector, but I guess not. I mean, we can start with an easy one and then move on to a harder one or something like that. So let me just make some code here. So let's consider an n element array A, where each index I contains a reference to an array of ki integers. Okay. Where the value of ki varies from array to array. Let's see the explanation. Okay, so almost kind of like, okay, I think, yeah, okay, my understanding's correct there. So given A, you must answer Q queries. Each query is in the format ij, where I denotes an index in array A and j denotes an index in the array located at AI. For each query, find and print the value of element j on a new line. Okay. So the first line is two space separated integers with the values of n. And then, okay, so let's start with this and read these in. Although I don't really know what to do about like the space separation. I struggle a bit with like reading arguments in. But I guess we can just do may actually run this in a separate window just to see that I'm actually doing this properly. So ooh, wait, what's going on there? Is it this? Have an undefined reference to main. Really? In my library? I mean, I don't even know what's going on there. That's a bit weird. Yeah, this is this is a bit weird. Why is okay? I was like, why are my arrow keys not working? How weird. What? Whoops. Let's just see what happens here. So I don't have any. You're not including the C file Well, I am. Oh, it's because I haven't actually saved my changes. Okay, that was stupid. Right, so... Okay, ooh, that might not be correct then. Oh no, that is right. Okay. So we're reading stuff in properly there, which is fine. So we've already read our N and we've read Q. So then, what is each line I of the N subsequent lines contains a space-separated sequence in the format blah describing the k-element array located at AI. Okay. So this is essentially building our arrays. So if we have like... okay, I'm thinking about actually how to... Actually thinking about how to do that. Or is it that? Like, where does my asterisk go? Because, yeah, I don't actually know how you define an array of arrays in here. Expected an open parenthesis for function style cast or type construction. Well, it's not really any of those. Or maybe it goes in this order. Okay, definition of a variable needs an explicit size or an initializer. So it's actually going to have n elements. But then we need to actually say that everything in here is an array, which is what I don't really know. Like, how do you define an array of arrays? So let's look that up. I've already tried that. So where do you declare it then? That's what I want to know. Also, I do apologize if you can hear pigeons outside. They're fighting. Give me 1 second. They have flown away, and I've made sure that I've continued the recording this time. Okay, is it possible to make an array of arrays? Okay. A is an array of integer arrays. 1 second. They are a constant problem, these pigeons. They really annoy me, actually. Okay, so... I guess you just use... Okay. A 0 refers to the second integer array. Right. So, so if we're following this example here, then this first character is always how big it's going to be in the next 2 lines. So we've got n queries, or actually, yeah. How do we define one that's each? How do we define one that... n is the number of variable length arrays, but what do I do for my second index here? Because they could be anything. Do I need to take the maximum value of... So this is an easy task. It's just kind of constructing everything that I'm a little bit confused about. If we look at our constraints, I mean, k, which is like the number of integers that can be in our subarray, can be 3 times 10 to the 5, which is a lot. So 0 is greater than or equal to j, which is our element, which is always less than k. So I think that's standard. Because the cheap way of doing it is obviously to specify something that is the maximum, but then I feel like you're just wasting space potentially. Maybe. So I mean, you could do something like that, because that's in the constraint, but that really doesn't seem right. So what HackerRank isn't great at doing is kind of showing how you can implement something like this. I guess there's string copy. Is this the C version? Yeah. I mean, is there an easier way of doing it? C++? No. You do malloc, size of car. I mean, this is the C. This is like integral C. So you can make a struct. Variable length array must be last. So S, which is your student. You have to make sure you assign it enough memory, and then you assign that to student name. But interestingly, what they've done here is set it to 0. Which I don't know if that would be right. Equally as interesting is that we also need to assign these. So maybe we do need to do something like mem set or you know, string copy. We do have cstdio. Oh, but also they've included vector for us as well. So, I mean, using a vector is a lot more simple, but actually I think it might be like it is possible to do this the C way, just using the primitives here. But I don't think 0 is the right way there. There we go. Yeah, maybe we can do something like, you know, string copy. So we're gonna have to read in loops now. Basically for so twice, or for however many times n is, we want to string copy, or actually, I mean, it's Oh yeah, we're going to need to do this twice. So, I mean, that should also be unsigned realistically. So for unsigned, well, I'll call this size, is, and then for everything else, we want to put that in the right place inside the array. So let's see how we can actually do string copy or str copy. Copies the string pointed to by source, including the null character, to the destination. You might have to account for that, maybe. So your destination goes first. So in our case, it's outer n I at E. It's not a vector array or pointer. Sorry, it's not. Sorry, it's not n. It's IE, obviously. That's our destination, and what we want to copy in is okay, nothing is ever below 0, so is str copy not in stdio? I think it might. It's probably in string.h, or it is in stdio.h. Which one is it in then? Oh, it's in string.h. Okay. No matching. Can you wait? Is this invalid then in C++? Surely not. Surely not. Oh, hang on, I copied the wrong thing here. Ah, okay. So I mean, this is purely for car. I mean, in that case, maybe it's like memset or something. Or mem copy. So the destination, the source, and then the count. Okay, and this is, but that the source does need to be const. So this might not be valid. I feel like I'm going just on a bit of a wild goose chase here. Argument of type unsigned int is incompatible with parameter of type void. Is it? Thought void would be... I guess maybe it needs to be my... Yeah, dereferenced thing here. So we can do that. And then do some more iteration here. To make sure that yeah. Or actually, it's our 3 times 10 to the 5. Actually, I can't even, realistically, I can't even test this, so we'll see how this goes. But I feel like that might be, ooh, a little dangerous. Let's see actually if HackerRank doesn't mind us using CString. No, it doesn't. Okay, so we've set those. So then after we exhaust n, which is kind of defining our arrays, so let's put a comment in here. So let's actually put some comments in here to kind of say what we're doing. So in each subarray. So assuming that this is okay, let's do we then need to load each query and run it. Queue defines the number of queries to run. Okay, so queue is our number of queries, and then what's inside queue again? Find, okay, it's our, literally, okay, grab from outer blank, and then return that. So, okay, this makes sense. So let's say for unsigned I equals 0, I plus plus. So this is where we actually run our queries, and we make sure that we also print the end of a line as well. So actually this is relatively simple. We can see in X and see in Y. And then we simply just do C out, outer X, Y. I hope. And then an endl. And we can see what this does for us. So Let's check. I feel like we're going to get some funky error because I'm using mem copy. Oh yeah. Okay, so we know what segmentation fault is. So that's fine. Core was generated by that. Okay. So it is our mem copy. Maybe used to implicitly create objects in the destination buffer. Okay, so here actually they're assigning a variable sized array. And you know what's interesting about that is that they actually just have it, they have it blank, but I don't think it likes that. An array may not have elements of this type. Yeah. To the 5. And then this is saying for every character in the destination, N27, that is not right. I think it's my Bodmus might be wrong there. Because why is it, where is 27 coming from here? Why is this 45? It needs to be... I honestly thought the caret was how to do power. Oh, maybe it's a function in math. That's pretty surprising. And I guess it's going to return either a double or a float, so we'd need to cast that down as well. Okay, that's fine. So let's do CMath. And we actually want to do 3 times POW 10 5, and then obviously this we want to be unsigned. How do we do cast again? Is it like that? It can just be a regular cast. That's it. You put it inside parentheses like that. Is that going to work? Looks like it. Maybe this code will run now? Question mark. I don't know though. Let's find out. Okay, no, we still have an issue. If I was to look at outer though. Okay, it's still producing a seg fault in mem copy. So what could I be doing wrong here? So if that's your source, your dest is 4. So it actually maybe doesn't need to be the size of C, but... Well, really, uninitialized values should have the same size. That could work here, but I'm not really sure, to be completely honest. Let's try doing stdin from here. I was to... Does it really not let me... Okay. Seriously? Let me paste that. Can I paste it in there? Nope. I'm not used to using the terminal on Linux 1-bit. Oh, come on. Why can't I paste? Why can I not paste? Paste. Oh, because it needs to be Control-Shift-V. Yep, segmentation fault. Okay. Right, so let's see if we can figure out what we're doing wrong here. So unsigned outer n should be of size 2. It might be because I'm not actually accessing anything. It might be because, you know, this isn't actually being set to anything, perhaps. I'm not really sure. The number of bytes to copy. So really it should be the size of C. Okay. Mem copy to variable or to 2D array. Let's see. Could be that this is not a pointer. You can access it like that. Could be because it's not pointer, perhaps. I don't really know. No, that's not the issue. Let's see, there's a gist here. So someone has an array of integers, a dynamically sized array of integers. That's R. You've got something, you've got matrix, which is 2 pointers, and they're allocating the size of an integer pointer multiplied by height. Well, where are they? Oh, okay, so the height is defined up here. I mean, maybe it's not because it's been mallocked. That could be the issue. And I can see that they're referencing it less and less as this goes on. Yeah, I guess maybe you can't use mem copy with something that's not actually initialized to something. Maybe that's the common denominator of what I'm missing here, because if I was to use mem cpy here, if I was to do that, I think that, you know, you're taking something that's already initialized and putting it into an empty buffer, whereas here this is completely uninitialized and we're trying to add an initialized value to that. I guess what we haven't done is these setup steps here where we malloc things. But then I don't know if you really tend to malloc in C++. Like, is malloc obsolete? This is the way to allocate memory in C++. You say you have a new, I guess. Must be a constant value. Or maybe we can just extract it to a const. Maybe. So, I mean, it doesn't really mind me doing that. That is technically cheating a bit. The value of variable expression must have a constant value, but then this value of the variable cannot be used as a constant. Value of parameter cannot be used as a constant. C++ does not support variable. No, the simple solution is to use a vector, but I am determined to not use a vector. I mean, this is something we're calculating on the fly anyway, so we could just resolve that calculation now and put it in as like a defined thing, maybe. So it's 300,000. Okay, a value of type unsigned int star 300,000 cannot be used to initialize an entity of type unsigned int. Is that because it needs to be... There's really not any way to cheat this out. Cannot be used as a constant. You are trying to use high as an array length in a declaration. As the compiler tells you, that's not possible. It needs to be a compile time evaluable constant expression. I guess you do want a vector then. Maybe you can't do this without this stuff. Without this stuff, I don't really understand. Because I don't really understand the double matrix. You're saying you've got an integer that is pointing to a pointer of a matrix. Or, you know, a pointer of a pointer we're calling matrix. Then we've got a integer malloc size of that times height. Now, I could copy this code and try and get it to work, but I feel like that would be disingenuous almost. So I might like park this for another time and instead say we can do the vector solution, which I think will be a little bit more simple. So let's call this the vector implementation, and then let's call this C implementation attempt. So over here, let's take our like HackerRank boilerplate, because I'm not sure if it actually needs to change that much. Because actually it's a vec is not a template. Argument list is missing. So let's look at how I constructed that vector again yesterday. Ah, okay. Okay, so I actually got although I think it should be a vector of a vector unsigned, which we will call vec. Yep, so there's no issues with that. And instead of mem copying, we can just say vector I push back, or rather vec at I push back whatever C is. Okay, so there's no issues with that. And then instead of outer, it is quite simply print vec xy. Oh, it's not called main anymore, it's called vector implementation. And I haven't saved this file. Okay, I still have a segmentation fault. So that is a little bit weird, right? I guess it's because I need to actually push back another kind of uninitialized vector in here. So I actually need to say that vec push back some kind of like new vector. Will it let me do that? No instance of overload. Okay, in that case, let's say that we actually need to push back v. It will let us do that. I think it will. Okay, I don't have a segmentation fault, but something is just infinite looping, which is a little bit weird. Could be that it's not reading our things properly. So let's say n is n, q is okay, n is q and q is 2. So we don't need that line really. Yeah, I really just think something is running on kind of an infinite loop. Okay, it's iterating infinitely here. On the inside. Now, why is that? Because it's I. So this is a very frustrating mistake, but a mistake nonetheless. So let's try this one more time. Okay, so it's still, I need to actually save this and try it once more. So 5.9 is our output. So I think hopefully this solution should be okay. I'm always running into issues here. But yeah, there we go. Okay, that's a success. I think this is probably a good place to kind of look at and analyze what's going on. And it might be worth using like ChatGPT for something like this as well. So yeah, because I think ChatGPT could quite easily explain what's happening here, or you know, maybe Google Bard or something like that could show us. We can ask it questions as well. So that will be interesting. I do find I use ChatGPT sometimes in work just for ideas. I think Bard is equally as impressive. So asking either of those, I think, might be cool. But I'm going to call it there. It's been about 15 minutes. So yeah, we will leave it there and come back to this tomorrow. All right. Cheers then. Bye bye.